Hi all. In this session, we'll try to understand what is AWS DynamoDB and why do we use and how it is going to work. We'll see all those things. Fine. So this will be the agenda of the session, and initially we'll go with our target object, that is what is DynamoDB, why should we go with it, and how it is going to work. Everything. Fine. So let's move on. So let's start with what is DynamoDB. So we all know that DB stands for, that is database. So Dynamo, something it's quite similar to Mongo, something like it's a framework, right? So likewise in Amazon, they have NoSQL database that is called as DynamoDB. So NoSQL in the sense you don't require to have the knowledge of SQL queries. So if you know how it's work and how to create everything, well and good, you can go on. So even if you don't know the queries, how to ask the queries to create the database or retrieve the data, filtering of data, like that, even if you don't know any SQL queries also, that's fine. So we'll try to go on. Okay, so Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service provided by the AWS. So from last few videos, we are observing something word that is fully managed. So fully managed is nothing but so complete risk, or that is managing the infrastructure, network, everything is being taken care by the Amazon. So here we have an additional advantage that if an if you are storing more data, so you did not to bother about storage, and if you want to retrieve the data, the network should be well and good, and even the processor should be good for retrieving the fast data, right? For all those things you don't require to bother. Okay, so everything is being taken care by the Amazon itself. So only we going to pay the amount of what we go and store, or the transaction that is writing and reading the data. For that purpose we just pay the amount. Fine. So rest of the things will be taken care by the Amazon itself. So we can waive off the headache of maintaining the infrastructure. Okay, so it is designed to handle large amount of data with high availability. So no, why NoSQL, that is DynamoDB. So we can use it if we have a large amount of data with making the things are available to the end users. For example, it can be the e-commerce websites. So nobody knows, right, who is going to search for what product and all. So whenever they search for that product, it should be available, or it should be displayed within a millisecond. So or else definitely they go and opt for some other websites too, since there is no proper response like that, right? And with the low latency means the retrieval time, that is what the high availability is all about. And scalability I just mentioned, right? So today you might be using 5 petabytes of data to store in your database. Gradually, in within a week, it was doubled. That is 10 petabyte of data. So on that case, if you are going with on-premises, that is physical infrastructure, you need to set up the database, and you need to link, and you need to manage. It will take lots of time, and even the more money is also more when there is no much data again. So while choosing DynamoDB or the cloud platform, so everything is being managed by the cloud provider, here AWS. Fine. So we don't need to bother about all the infrastructure things as well as the networking part. So everything is being managed by the AWS itself. Okay, and here we have some features like it's a kind of NoSQL database. Here it's something related to the key value. Key is nothing but the variable name. If you are going with name, employee ID, something like that, the value is what we provide input, and the document database. Okay, next is scalability. So automatically scale throughput capacity based on the demand. So if the data is being increased, so automatically you need not to go and manage all the storage or the networking thing. So everything is being managed by the AWS itself. And when it comes to performance, single digit millisecond latency. So within the fraction of milliseconds, we can get the data and we can write or update the data too. And here we have some features. So you need, it's a kind of serverless, so no need to manage servers, I just mentioned, right? So you need not to manage the infrastructure or the server. Just go and create the database and link to your application, that is enough. And multi-region replication, and also you can replicate the same data to different regions too, so that obviously the availability will be high as well as the latency will be low, since the people who is going to use the e-commerce websites are not restricted to any one region, they can accessible anywhere in the world, right? That's it. Next is flexible schema. So unlike relational database, that is RDS, DynamoDB does not enforce a rigid schema. So you can however you want go it. Okay. So we just understood what is DynamoDB and why we go and why it is called fully managed NoSQL database and some features of it. Okay, so we'll try why. So we just understand what. Now we move on to the why. So we have already come across few points, but still we go on. One is scalability, that is, it supports applications with varying the level of demand from low to high traffic. No matter whether the traffic is coming high, is going to take care by itself only based on the analysis. Okay, so if the traffic goes down, automatically the provisioning of things will be reduced. So subject to analyzing of data. Okay, next is performance. So deliver consistent of data with low latency response even at scale. Okay, so if there are a number of users who is for example as of now the people are only 10 people are accessing the same data. So in within an hour gradually it was increased to 1000 people who are accessing the same data. So on that case the things should be matched to the that is all incoming traffic, and they should deliver the things consistently, like. And when it comes to costing, pay for what you we that is pay for what we use, on demand pricing or provisioning capacity. So it is completely depend on what we are using. So if you are not using 1 TB of data, it will be deprovisioned. Okay, so if you want you can go and add it, that is everything is being automatically handled, that is fully managed things. Okay, next is high availability. So built-in fault tolerance and automated replication across multiple availability zones. So you did not to go and replicate things. So whenever it's something related to kind of an S3, there also it's a global one, right? Though even though you created in one zone and you can access in another zones, like that. So next is use case. So where all we can use these kind of NoSQL database. Real-time applications like gaming, that is IoT based application, chat apps, storing user profiles, sessions data, activity logs, and we do can back up our servers applications, high traffic web applications, like that. So where you don't do any problem statement things, okay, in those case we can go and have the DynamoDB. So probably we might have already seen the DynamoDB table while we are doing the amplify. So automatically when we go and integrate the authenticator, that is the login page, so immediately two tables got created right there. Likewise, so we just come across why we should go with DynamoDB with the help of use case, in what manner or in what application we can go and integrate, or we can go and opt the DynamoDB, and what could be the advantages if we are going with DynamoDB and all, and how does it work. Fine. So next, that is the core concept. So we should understand the basic one, right? So tables, obviously the collection of items, that is analogs to row in a relational database. Next is we can have the items. Items is nothing but the data. We can in single data entry, analogs to a record identified by the unique key. That is, we can have the primary key also. Next is attributes, the data field in each item. Okay. Next here, in general, we used to make that is one column as a primary key, but here we call it as partition key, a unique identifier for each item. Okay, next is partition key plus sort key, that is which is optional, which is equivalent to the composite key, allowing for more complex queries. Okay, next is indexes. Probably we know all what is indexes with the help of array, right? We go and fetch the data in the desired thing, right? For faster lookups, global secondary index, that is local secondary index, like that. So next it comes to data storage. So data is distributed across multiple partitions. Fine. Next is DynamoDB uses partition keys to determine which partition the data belongs to. So partition, we have already came to know that it's kind of a primary key or the unique key. Okay. So don't get confused even while creating or when you heard something word as partition. Okay. So next, AWS ensures balanced distribution as well as quick access. It's completely related to accessing and putting the data into that is database. Throughput management. So provision mode, specify read write capacity upfront. So we can also specify how much the provision mode or that is how many data should be read and write within these many seconds. We can also manually go ahead with it, or if we go on with on demand things, automatically subject to traffic, it is going to happen. Next is access. So query as well as manipulated data using the AWS SDK, or we can go with CLI or the Lambda thing also. So next is DynamoDB supports CRUD operation, that is we can create, read, update, delete, everything can be done. So integration with AWS services like Lambda, S3, API gateway. So while we creating the things that is amplified, we go with the API gateway to do any transactions between the amplify as well as DynamoDB. We make use of DynamoDB there. Additional features. So streams, that is capture changes in real time. So if we do update anything in our front end, automatically the things will be updated here. Next is transactions ensures atomicity and consistency, and they provide TTL, that is automatically delete expired items. So they can maintain the retention policy. So how long the data should be retention if it is not been fetched. So there also we can go ahead. Fine. So we'll go and try to understand some practical sessions. So when fine, so once you are logged into your AWS account, this will be the dashboard or the console. So just type DynamoDB and make sure where you are using it. So let me switch to Stockholm. So we'll just try to come across some pricing things. Okay, initially before we move it. Okay, so DynamoDB charges for reading, writing and storing data in the DynamoDB tables along with any optional features. So they're going to charge amount for any data which is retrieved or accessed, any data which is updating or storing, and the data in your DynamoDB tables. So what kind of how much data you are storing, for that also they're going to charge. Okay, so along with any optional features you choose to turn on. So if you have go ahead with additional things, for that also they will be charged. And DynamoDB has an on-demand capacity mode and provision capacity mode, that is these modes have pricing, processing for reading and writing things. Okay, so we'll go and try to create table first. So once you hit on the create table, so initially we go and try to create the table like user log. Fine. So next, here just I provided the name of the table, and here I need to provide the primary key of type. You can we have this method, either it's a binary one or number or a string like that. Okay. So user ID will be the primary key. Okay. So if you want to have composite key, we can just enter, or else it's an optional one. So there also we have three kinds. So here I'll be using the string because whatever the user ID will I going to generate, or in general they going to generate, is it will be of kind alphanumerical. So that's why I'm just going with string. Fine. So if we are going with the table settings, the fastest way to create table. So here we have the default thing. So table class DynamoDB standards, that is whether they are provisioned or not, like that. So the capacity will be of kind on demand. So maximum read capacity I have provided null, so that is it is completely dependent on demand here. So encryption key management, so which is provided by the DynamoDB, and delete in production I have off that, I don't want. Okay, next, resource based policy not yet activated. So if you are going with custom and if you are choosing the additional features things, okay, in those case you will be charged additionally. Fine. So as of now we'll go for the default one and we'll create the table. So now the provisioning of infrastructure is going on. So that is a table creation. Okay. So this is the dashboard, that is you can integrate things here. So now the table got created, just get inside your table. Okay, so they are asking us to protect your DynamoDB table from accidental write, and so since I am doing it for a demo thing, so I don't require anything. Okay, so as of now I just have the table here, I don't have any data. Okay, so if you want to create the columns, okay, just either go and hit on explore items, or from here also you can just go and type explore item. Fine. Okay, so user log is my thing, and if I run the thing, so there is nothing to here, so we'll just go and create the items. Okay, so I have already created the primary key, so we'll go and type something. Okay, create item. Okay, see here, the user ID having this one. If you want to create more item, just add new attribute of kind. So next, we'll go and add the name, that is username. Okay, now things got created, we can able to make out the table, right? So this is how it looks. So fine, so if you want to do any CRUD operations, you can just choose here, you can either delete, or you can that is duplicate the item, or if you want to edit, you can edit it, and you can add the values, and if you want to explore to .csv file, you can do it like this. Okay, so here we have provided the scan. So if you want to go and fetch from the query things, there also you can just go ahead. So query means if you know the user ID, that is the primary ID, you can go and check the things, or you can go with specific attributes. So you can select the attributes like things. Okay, so now 2024 December 10. Okay, so read capacity units consume 0.5 things. So the data got fetched. So we have two kinds. One is scan, which is going to scan the whole table, and if you want to go with customized one, you can just go and so you can just go and hit the table details. See here, the usage has been going to 60%. That is read usage, write usage also. Okay, so rest things we have not done any operation, so that is why no data available initially. So always be ensured that delete the resource once after creating. So you can export the things to S3 bucket also, or if you want to import data from S3, from there also you can just import things. You need to provide the S3 URL and in what format you want it to import, like this. Okay, so this will be the dashboard, and if you hit view all tables, you can, the tables will be appeared here. And if you want to import any data manually, any data, on that case, either you can just go here explore items, or you can just go and type the explore item here also. Okay, so you can do these many operations, that is you can update the table class, or delete, create item, create index, replication. So where do you want to replicate this data, everything can be done. Okay, so as of now it is in the Stockholm, that is Europe, and if you want to make things available in the Europe region, or sorry, Asia specific, Tokyo, okay, like this. Okay, so before that we just go there. See here, we do not have any tables in the Mumbai region. So if you are going with replication thing, okay, so replicating the user log table for this region might take some time, they are telling. Okay, so we'll, okay, yes, it's creating. So it is completely depend on how much data your table is holding. So if you have large number of data, so it will take that desired time. See here, so already the table creation is in progress. I did not create anything manually here, just I gone with replication rule. So the things are under processing. Okay, so the monitoring is, you can set up the CloudWatch. If if you want to do backup, you can also do backup, but you will be charged for the amount. So how long you will be restoring it. Okay, so that is you can export your data like thing, and you can control the access also by either creating the IAM roles or by updating the policies. So here we have a additional, that is the table settings. When post creation also, you can go and modify the things. Okay, so as of now, by default, the read unit per second is 12,000 and write is 4,000. So time to leave, so how long the data should be leave, like during the execution, or automatically delete expired item, that is how long the data should be retained in your table, that is also you can able to manage. So for example, somebody has created, probably you will be getting the notification from the Gmail if you are not using it for more than an year. So they send a reminder saying that your account will be deleted if you haven't used it for another 30 days, like that, right? So in those case, time to leave or the retention policy will be applied. Okay, so we'll have it whether it is created or not. No, it's still taking long time. So let me pause and let me come back once it is been provisioned successfully. Okay, so now it successfully replicate the data. Okay, so we just go here, and here we can able to make out. Fine. So we just hit on explore table, and here we can able to see the data, and we'll try to create data in Mumbai region, and we'll see whether we can able to see in the Stockholm or not. Okay, okay, yeah, let it be. Fine. So the 24, the user ID will change, and we'll look into the time. Now it is 11, and will remain same. Okay, now the table got created, and we'll go and explore the table here. Okay, something has been updated. We'll scan whole table for data. Fine. Yes, so here we can able to see the data. So compare read capacity unit consumed. Okay, okay, so fine. So I was just using the filter here, that's why I could not able to make out other two attributes. Now we can able to see, and we'll go and duplicate other thing also. So fine, so next is 11 5. We'll go and create. Okay, the things got updated here, and the same should be visible here also. Yes, so this is how you can make your data high availability to the end users, and with low latency. Why it is low latency? The people who are accessing the data who is near to the Mumbai region, they all can able to access this data within the milliseconds. Okay, so I just mentioned, right? So always be ensured that once after done with your practice, kindly go and delete the resources. So delete all CloudWatch alarms user, and you don't want to create any on-demand backup. Fine. Just before that, just get in and delete the replica. Okay, hopefully you people have understood what is DynamoDB and how we going to create the table and insert the data, how it is exactly related to it, and how we can achieve the high availability with low latency by doing the replication, and also the backup things. If you want, you can go ahead with it, and you can just export the thing. When it comes to permissions, you can set who can access, who cannot access, and all. Okay, so we'll wait here. So deletion is under process. Just go back to tables and hit refresh. Yes, look here, so automatically the deletion is progress. So in single window you can able to manage everything. So once after successful deprovisioning this region, you can just directly go and delete the table. I don't think so will it consider now. We'll try it. Okay, so you deleted the requested and counter issue the so that needs to be deprovisioned or deleted initially before we deleting the table. Fine. Okay, so thank you all for watching the DynamoDB session. I think it was very helpful for you. If you have any queries in addition, just drop me the comment and we'll get back to you with another session. Thank you all.